Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Wyman Grover, and welcome to SL Wyman's Rocklin Writing. If you're new here to the channel, welcome. And if you're a return person, I thank you very much for coming back and sharing my journey with me. Hopefully we're going to have a lot of new great things coming up on the channel. I will be recording very soon a what's coming next video for you guys. I don't want to give you a date just in case I'm not able to keep my promises here, simply because of everything that's been going on. But that said, my channel is generally about writing and reading and books. I'm actually author, writing under the name of S.L. Wyman. I've got 2 books in the works, one that is done and in the editing stage called The Obsidian Gate, but more about that on another time, simply because that's not what I'm here for today. Today I'm here with another Tarot Tube tried, spread, revisited video for you all. Some friends of mine on the internet came up with a hashtag and a spread in a Facebook group, and long story short, it's to revisit old spreads you've done, not only with coming back and looking at it more, but also with different decks to see how that influences or changes the reading and the interpretations and or deepens it. This hashtag was started by, the idea originally has come up for, and the group on Facebook was started by Richard from Longman Tarot, and then for a conversation he had with Gerald, the Hermit Mage, also known as Tarot Stash, and then Gerald in turn came up with a spread called Tell Me About, and we chose that as the first spread that we're doing for our tried spread revisited, and this one is called Tell Me About Joy. If you've seen my last video, you kind of get the idea of how this is going to flow, but long story short, I did this spread again, this time with the Lilli Black deck, again by Celia Millsville. Really beautiful deck, and I expected it to be a lot more punchy than the Lilli White. I was not wrong, as you'll see shortly. But the basic concept is you take the deck, shuffle it, split it into 3 piles. That first pile is pile A, which is Tell Me About My Joy. The second pile is Tell Me About Others' Joy. Third pile is Tell Me how, about deepening my joy. Let's, expand it. Let's go deeper into joy. And then you take the top, bottom, and a random card from the middle from each one. So that from pile A, you have everything in column A, pile B, same, and pile C, the same thing. And you have it all spread out. Again, you can see it on Tried Spreads Revisited and go in a little more detail. What I'll do is just show you the cards, go through the spread, kind of compare and contrast. Let's have some fun with this, because this one was great. Now, the first card is Tell Me About My Joy. How do I experience joy? Well, the card that came up for me first, and again, the Lilli Black deck, it's gonna be a little hard to see because the colors are muted. It's an inverse of the Lilli White. What you're seeing here is the Page of Wands. You can see the flames, how the red is kind of inverted. They would be a lot more vibrant in the white, but that's come up in How Do I Experience Joy. Now, traditionally, and this doesn't always have to go this way because I know gender rules are crap and you can throw them out the window if you want to, but traditionally, page tends to represent a younger woman. So whenever I get the page, now that I'm more into the stage of life where if I were going to identify as such, I would go more into the queen, which I do. I do identify as female. So, total straight cisgender white stereotypical female here with that. So, I do tend to associate more with queen energy now. But, so whenever I get that, I immediately go, oh, that's my childhood calling. And especially with the Page of Wands, because Queen of Wands, that's kind of my card. That is the court card I aspire to. So getting the page, that was their way of saying, well, you've got this little light. It's kind of gotten a little smothered with childhood trauma and just life Well, it's time to bring it up from the dead. Let this little guy start to shine. Mature it up, bring it in. You want to grow into the full queen. You've got to start somewhere, and you've got to start by feeding that little kid and making them happy. Which immediately jumped into the next card, which is what's blocking my joy. And if you'll remember, I got the Page of Swords in that first reading. Very first card. So on top of how I experienced, childlike joy, childhood trauma, and, irrational, more childlike thinking combined with that, all that insecurity, all that childhood just ick, is making it very, very hard to advance. Apparently, and I can see that, because basically that first card is, your flame's getting smothered there. You need to unleash that a little bit, and your brain is stuck in trauma brain. It's stuck in the past. This is the youngest versions of yourself. You're not that little kid anymore. You need to move on and evolve. And I do apologize. You will see me kind of referring to my notes here simply because it's been a couple of days. This is just the first time I've had to film it. And I've noticed that throughout my different readings, Page of Cups has shown up, Page of Wands, and the Page of Swords. The only page that hasn't shown up is the Page of Pentacles, which I thought was interesting. And of course, because my very first card I ever identified with in my very first Rider-Waite deck was the Page of Swords. So of course it's also saying, okay, well, a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of your past self, but at the same time, that's kind of holding me back, and I do have a way to go. So, again, that Page of Swords and the Page of Wands, that's my inner self-esteem. That's my inner, is my creative stuff good enough? And it's holding me back. I need to let that creative spark go. Now, next card is, where do they meet? Where do they meet in the middle? And I got one of the cards I have issues with. It's the Hierophant. Why do I sometimes have issues with the Hierophant? Because it tends to represent patriarchal order and rote learning and do as I say, do as you're told, not as I do. I tend to associate that with a lot of that, with the more negative sides of the patriarchy. Probably shouldn't, but anyway, what do I think this is kind of representing here with a meeting in the middle? Well, what's holding me back is the fact that I'm stuck in my books. Where did it meet in the middle? I'm constantly researching, I'm constantly learning, and I'm doing so much prep and so much reading, I'm not getting out there enough and actually putting it into practice, which is very fair, very true, something I really need to work on. I'm great with the words, I'm great with the ideas, I'm great with the making of the lists. Where I fall short is doing them. So that is something I definitely think that I have to really work on. And I really need to overcome a lot of this, I think. And really, there's an easy way to reconcile my academic self and my practical real world self, and to grow up and integrate all those parts of my little child trauma brain. And, do some therapy, get where I need to be. So I'm not horribly upset by any of the cards that I've seen here. Just not surprised. We'll put it that way. Next column is tell me about others. Joy. The first one is, I just want to double check and make sure I'm saying this one right. This one is, how do others share their joy with me? This one I had to take a step back and think about for a half second. And this card, I know you're probably not going to see it too well because the camera not going to want to focus on it very good. It's the Tower card. And at first, I literally had to recognize it by the numbers. One of the reasons I wanted to use this deck is because it's really freaking intuitive. Now, immediately, everybody goes on about how the Tower is one of the worst cards you can get. And in a sense, yeah, it is. Tower is never fun. It's never a good time. because it means change. Usually change you don't want, and usually change that you don't have a choice in. You're just gonna have to write it out. It also usually means change that needs to happen because the tower has a rotten foundation and it's got to come down before something healthy can be rebuilt. What I see when I relate back to joy, how do others share their joy with me? And after thinking about it for a little bit, it occurred to me, well, it's because they help me get to and through those tower moments. They're helping me tear down those walls, and they're physically tearing down my walls. These unhealthy, trust issues and self-esteem issues and anxiety, they're taking all of that and tearing it down and working with me to try to rebuild a better foundation underneath it so that, I got a healthier, more stable growth that is going to happen out of that moment. And yes, sometimes it feels uncomfortable. You don't like being called on your shit. Nobody does. Nobody likes it when your friends have to tell you, you're being kind of a nutcase. You're getting a little out of line and you really need to take a look at something. Nobody likes to hear that. It's not fun. And I haven't really gone through a lot of that myself. But, my friends are always very supportive people. And I have no doubt that that's exactly par for the course what they would do. It'd be like, this is not healthy for you. Come on, little hermit, get out of your cave. We need to get you into some more healthy habits here because this is not working for you. So, which is a good thing. You have to be open to hear the bad with the good. All right, so the next one is, how do I share my joy with others? It's another one that took me a little bit to try to figure out. It's the Ten of Wands. You see, I know you may not be able to see them very well in the background, but there's like 3 or 4 wolves or dogs outside of that ring of wands that the little fox is hiding behind. Now, that took me a minute. It's like, okay. That one's a hard one because that card is very much we're weary now. We need to rest. This is a long battle. We know we're going to have to pick this up again, and we're still got more battles to come. So for me, what this represents, I looked at it and, well, what do? I'm the wands. I build that protective space around my friends as best I can. I try to shield them. I'm, like I said before, Mama Bear. I try. I don't always succeed at it, but that's what I try to do. I try to my best to be that safe space. Also, though, it is letting me know I need to be a little bit better about doing so. Because I'm also the fox. I also have a tendency, everybody has that fight, flight, or freeze instinct. Mine almost always tends to be flight or freeze. I will admit, I am not great with confrontations at all. That is something I need to work on. And, I think this is them basically saying sometimes you don't just need to be brave for you. And you really need to learn to build that inner courage so you can be that safe space, But overall, that's kind of how I interpreted that as I do my best to, give them a break from battle, if nothing else. But I also need to not run from my own. And that card's kind of telling me, yeah, you need to be more gentle with your people. You need to learn to cultivate that a little bit. You also need to learn to be a little more brave, which is not easy. And, again, I'm not calling myself a coward. I'm just saying that I need to work on being better in difficult situations so that I am better able to advocate for people when they need me, so that I am better to advocate for myself when it's just me and my back up against the wall, because I don't handle those situations very well. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. And then it's, where do they meet in the middle? Well, got the 7 of Cups. I really like the cups in this deck because of just how much the blue stands out, which, happens to be my favorite color, but just it's beautiful. beautiful. The fish looks like it's almost swimming through air trying to get to this insurmountable, pile of cups, which cups of water. That's emotion. So basically, where does it meet? Well, it meets with me not giving up when I'm confronted with a situation where you've got a whole lot of emotion to process. And, it requires really reaching across that gap of understanding to have empathy and compassion, which is, when someone's coming to you with a problem, sometimes they just want validation and a pat on the back and I'm here with you, I get it, that sucks. Sometimes they want you to shut the heck up and listen and not try to just barrel over them or diminish or make them feel better. Sometimes they don't want that. Sometimes they just want you to hold space and just let them breathe, let them talk. So this is basically saying that's where the middle ground is. Let's see if we can get there. Then the last column is, how do I expand my joy? First card, how do I deepen it? 5 of Cups. Pretty cut and dry. Okay, if you had mistakes in the past where you screwed up, leave them in the past. Forget about all the butt hurt and the bad emotions and all that shit in the past. Focus on the blessings you have. Focus on the present. Use that to build something stronger and move forward. What am I not seeing about joy? And that is the 10 of Cups. If you remember, I got that with the Lilli White deck. How do I expand it? So not only is it to expand it, is that the way to expand? It's also what I'm not seeing about it. And that is that, emotions are overwhelming. How do I get through to where I can expand my joy? It's by cultivating doing those good deeds, cultivating that within myself, bringing that happiness from within, and then cultivating the experiences without and bringing them together, which will help expand joy. Now, how do we do that? Where's the middle ground? 5 of Wands. And to me, that says, well, you gotta learn to be better about taking risks. Emotions are scary. Things are scary. Sometimes you have to put that aside and take the risks because the person or the situation is worth it. That includes yourself, myself, obviously, but sometimes you just gotta put your shit aside and do what needs to be done. And if you can put your ego aside and do it just because someone needs you, or because you need to do it, or because it's the right thing to do, in the end you wind up feeling a lot better about yourself. So, yeah, like I said, I was expecting it to be punchy, and it was, but in the best way, which is exactly what I was hoping for with this deck. So, I'm not going to keep everybody here too much longer. Next time I'll probably be doing this possibly with either the Botanica Tarot or the Prisma Visions. I haven't made up my mind yet, but either way, I look forward to continuing to do this. If you like something, let me know in the comments. If you want more tarot-related content on my general page, that'd be great. If you want to check out Tried Spread Revisited, please do so. You can also search it by hashtag Tried Spread Revisited. Be great if you'd stop by Gerald Hermit Mage's channel and Richard at Longman Tarot's channel. Give them a little bit of love and support. Any likes, comments, subscribing, or any kind of shares that all of us here can get are much appreciated. Helps us all grow and learn and lets us know what you guys like to see. But I'm enjoying this, and I cannot wait to see where we go next with the spreads we're trying out. So, and this is kind of a quick one, but thank you. It's great to see you all. I hope you're all doing well, and until next time, have a good one. Bye.